So today we're once again going to talk about this new dating book or relationship book or whatever you want to call it. But I think it is actually pretty amazing. I really do like it. Just as a little bit of an exclaim or whatever it is called, I actually don't know. My window's open, which means that there's going to be some sounds, and it is fairly late, so I'm not going to be too loud, or I try to not be too loud. If I'm able to do so, I don't know. I'm actually half an hour earlier today than I've been yesterday, which, yesterday it led me to being like, well, I'm not going to record a normal episode. I'm going to record something different. I'm going to record like just without any audio, just because I can sit in the back there where it is not too loud. And yeah. And also, as you can see, I've blow dried my hair just incredibly bad. Also because it's very loud, and I kind of thought, well, you know what? I'm not going to do it so long, so I'm going to do it in a different way, but this leads to not the perfect results, apparently. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead with the reading part. It is the act of choosing, the freedom involved in choosing, that keeps a relationship alive. When breathing, you need to inhale and exhale, similar to intimacy and passion. The tension between security and adventure is a paradox to manage, not a problem to solve. It is a puzzle. Can you hold the awareness of each polarity? You need each at different times, but you can't have both at the same time. Can you accept that? It is not either or situation, but you get the benefits and limits of each. Apparently, sex is dirty. Save it for someone you love. Sex is not a problem. Being irresponsible about sex is, yeah, quite. I would say this as well, because I don't know. I don't think that you want to have a lot of babies. I don't think that you want this other person to have problems. And so, yeah, I don't know. Just be safe and be responsible about it. What's missing is a sexuality that is integrated, in which pleasure flourishes in the context of relatedness. Just not just deep love, but basic care and appreciation for another person. The author admits that in college age, coupling, or at least the dream of romance, seems to her as something that enlarges us and is about what you can discover with someone. How you were loved as a kid is usually how you love or show love as an adult. Understanding the past can help change the present. Erotic intimacy is the adult version of hide and seek. The thrill of hiding is followed by the relief being found. The stronger the connection, the braver we are about stretching it, having a security of knowing you will be found. We know our beloved will be waiting for our return, will not punish or selfish pursuits, and may even applaud them. Being with an unavailable partner provides a protective limit. If you can't get too close to a person, you need not fear entrapment or loss of self. Yes, that's totally the case. But on the other hand, might not be that of a good thing if you kind of are not afraid of losing that. Maybe this also says something negative about the relationship. For example, it not being too deep, or you're not just being very connected to this other person. For example, as I'm thinking about it. Reader's note, this idea of hooking up as a way to protect oneself from getting too close for fear of entrapment or loss reminds me of almost every rom-com out there. The protagonist is a broken person, but eventually finds love through being vulnerable and not fearing intimacy. Cultivating a sense of ruthlessness in our intimate relationships is an intriguing solution to the problem of desire. Adding children to the relationship will complicate things and add layers of complexity and dynamics. We literally fall in love with our babies, and we know this is an all-consuming affair that pushes everything else aside. The making of a family calls for a redistribution of resources, and for a while there seems to be less for the couple. Less time, communicating, sleep, money, freedom, touch, intimacy, and also privacy. Read any parenting book on infants and toddlers, and what you'll find over and over is an emphasis on routine, predictability, and regularity. For children to feel confident enough to go out in the world and explore on their own, they need a secure base. Parenthood demands that we become steady, dependable, and responsible. And I do want to point out once again, and this is something that I've been talking about before, but as children or as parents, we do have a very great ability to choose the life that our children are going to have, and which type of person they're going to be, which quote unquote problems they're going to have and all of these things. And I don't know, I do think that there is a high responsibility that you're having as a parent in terms of what your child is going to be like in the end as an adult and or just later in life. And you have a lot of power over them. You are just a fucking parent. You do have a lot of power over them, and we can use this power to do something great. But on the other hand, of course, we can also choose and use this power to do something that's pretty fucked up. If it is just conscious or subconscious, doesn't matter that much, but it is a fact. Reader's note, this also reminds me of movies where these irresponsible adults have to learn how to become dependable and responsible after being tasked with being a parent. First example that comes to mind is the awesome movie Big Daddy with Adam Sandler. Man, I love that movie. I do actually like all these Adam Sandler movies, not necessarily, well, I don't know if he actually did some new movies like 2020 or 2019 or 2018 even, but all those really or relatively old movies right now, and they've all been actually pretty funny, and I've always enjoyed that about Adam Sandler movies. What eroticism thrives on, a family life defends against. If we think as eroticism as not sex per se, but as a vibrant creative energy, sometimes one's erotic pulse can't be alive, just redirected towards the family. Couples need to cordon off erotic territory for themselves. Sometimes you have to break the pattern when the partner is no longer seen as your lover, but the character or caretaker of your children. Safe objectification can help the eroticism. Culturally, we are afraid that our adult sexuality will somehow damage our kids, that is inappropriate or dangerous. By censoring our sexuality, curbing our desires or renouncing them altogether, we had our inhibitions intact to the next generation. It is not children who extinguish the flame of desire, it is adults who fail to keep the spark alive. To her thinking, sexual fantasy includes any mental activity that generates desire and intensifies enthusiasm. These thoughts need to be graphic or well-defined. They are often inarticulate, more feeling than images, more sensuous than sexual. The connection between regular fantasies and what someone really wants is straightforward and uncomplicated. Sexual fantasies, on the other hand, don't reflect reality in the same way. A point in sexual fantasy is that it involves pretending. It is a simulation, a performance, not the real thing, and not necessarily a desire for the real thing. They are complex psychic creations whose symbolic content must not be translated into literal intent. Think poetry, not prose. Characters in fantasies and pornography are drastically simplified without the emotions and opinions and personalities. This simplifies it and gets to the point of what the person watching or imagining wants or what turns them on. Fantasies can cover up and circumvent sexual vulnerabilities. Inviting someone into the recess of an erotic mind is risky. When a fantasy is poorly received, it can be devastating. But when it is received in a way that makes us feel recognized and accepted, it can be richly affirming. Understanding what our fantasies do for us will help us understand what it is we are seeking sexually and also emotionally. In our erotic daydreams, we find the energy that keeps us passionately awake to our own sexuality. Question: are there any secrets to long-lasting relationships? Answer: infidelity. Not the act itself, but the threat of it. An injection of jealousy is the only thing capable of restoring a relationship ruined by habit. Yes, indeed. Once we get jealous of another person, we feel like, well, this is indeed actually the person I love. This is indeed the person that I want to have on my side. And this is indeed the person that I really care about. And even though it is a fucked up thing, and I don't know, there might be just some things that some people might be doing just to make the other person feel jealous, which is maybe not going to be a good idea, and I know that you know what I'm referring to. Anyway, fidelity as a mainstay of patriarchal society was about lineage and property. It had nothing to do with love. Today, particularly in the West, it has everything to do with love. When marriage shifted from a contractual arrangement to a matter of the heart, faithfulness became a mutual expression of love and commitment. The focus is always on the object of love, not on our capacity to love. We think it is easy to love, but hard to find the right person. Once we've found the one, we will need no one else. Some affairs are acts of resistance. Others happen when we offer no resistance at all. Straying can sound an alarm for the marriage, signaling an urgent need to pay attention, or it can be the end of the relationship. Affairs are motivated by myriad forces. Not all of them are directly related to flows in the marriage. Plenty of ulteriors are reasonably contented in their marriage. The man who had an affair realized that the other woman was a missing piece, but his wife was the rest of the puzzle. What he really wanted was the passion, risk, and danger that the affair brought him, but also everything else that his life at home gives him. Yes, indeed. It is a whole thing. It's just about the quote-unquote danger. It's just about this missing piece, as he as well says. But in the end, we just realize that we've had everything, or we are having everything. And period. In some cultures, lying and concealment means disrespect. In other cultures, respect is more likely to be expressed with gentle untruths that aim at preserving the partner's honor. Projective capacity is preferable to truths that may result in humiliation. Hence, concealment not only maintains martial harmony, but it is also a mark of respect. Marriage is imperfect. We start with a desire for oneness, and then we discover our differences. Our fears are aroused by the prospect of all the things we are never going to do or to have. We fight, we withdraw, we blame our partners for failing to make us whole. We look elsewhere, real or imagined, embodied or not. The third is a fulcrum on which the couple balances. The third is a manifestation of our desire for what lies outside the fence. It is the forbidden. The couple is the resistance to the intrusion of the third, but in order for it to last, it is indispensable to have enemies. This is why the monogamous can't live without them. When we are two, we are together. In order to form a couple, we need to be three. Yeah, I do want to stop at this point, actually, and end the episode. So, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for listening and or watching. If you've been just listening to the podcast and watching the YouTube video, it's only 13 minutes, and when I'm cutting it, it's probably going to be even less. But still, I feel like I just don't also want to overdo it. It is a lot of fun. I like this. I like the summer, even though I don't really get that much out of it in terms of me being able to kind of memorize things. So yeah, it is a bit of a bad thing. But anyway. I wish you the best health. I wish you the best health, wealth, happiness, and also success. And I also hope that you're gonna remind yourself, that you are going to remind yourself on how you're gonna be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and basically means just being a nice person and then being remembered as a nice person, which is a pretty fucking cool thing. 3 other questions that I have for you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change, and what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, which is a pretty fucking cool thing as well. The last question that I have for you is: what could you essentially say to another person that is indeed going to change their second, their minute, their hour, their life, their month, whatever? Because I believe that we all can say something, that we all can give another person a compliment that is indeed gonna let them feel better about themselves, and maybe even just unbreakable and unharmable and whatever, invincible. Yeah, that's the word. But yeah, please take care of your loved ones, yourself, and also your family members. And I'm hopefully going to see you the next time. So thank you very much once again from the bottom of my heart. I just truly appreciate that so much. I can't even express that. At this point in time, I'm also seeing the channel grow, which is amazing. And I hope that this is going to continue, that this trend is going to continue. That I'm going to be able to just make even better content by knowing what people want to have and people want to see. So yeah, going to see you the next time. Thank you. Bye-bye. And yeah.